The ARTx3 includes the Arts and Science Center, which has been in this community since 1968, as well as the Art Space on Main and Artworks on Main.
I first started visiting the Arts and Science Center about 6 years ago. I had recently moved back to Pine Bluff and was looking to connect with any arts organizations and local artists.
I can remember going to some of the Art Center productions. The first one I remember was probably in the 70s. It was Anything Goes. And to me, it was just that force of live action in front of you. And I remember even back then, and I was probably maybe in junior high then, it was like, wow, that's really cool. That looks like it'd be a lot of fun to do.
I moved here from Los Angeles, and I was feeling out of sorts because I was used to arts and cultural activities, and everybody here was warm and friendly, but I just still felt like the outsider.
I learned my love of acting here. I went on to a professional acting career. I still tell people about this space and the fun I have, and I never get more of a thrill than when I get to walk back on the Catherine Bellamy stage.
The ARTx3 campus has allowed me as a local artist to fulfill my artistic needs in every way possible through professional development opportunities, workshops, selling my art. I've been able to show my art in each facility here on the ARTx3 campus.
The story of the ARTx3 campus begins with the Little Firehouse Community Art Center. The Little Firehouse Community Art Center was established in the late 1950s by June Freeman. She was a member of the Pine Bluff Junior League, and she sort of planted the idea of having some sort of art class. So one of the places that they originally located the concept for the Little Firehouse was actually in a WPA Community Firehouse Center built in 1936. They got permission from the city to convert it into classrooms, as well as exhibition space and a little small theater performing area. That eventually evolved into what became known as the Southeast Arkansas Arts and Science Center. When that was formed in 1968, it was June who advocated to have science added to the name for the museum, as well as science being added as one of the disciplines that's offered through the museum, setting the museum apart from any other museum in Arkansas.
Some of my earliest memories, or actually the earliest memory, was at the Little Firehouse. I remember taking an art class there in the summer. I cannot remember how old I was. I think I might have been in kindergarten, first grade, somewhere in there. And I think it was maybe each week we did different little projects, but the main thing I remember is there was pottery.
My earliest memory of the Arts and Science Center are not being a visitor, but actually my first audition for Razzle Dazzle. I was dancing with Dorothy Soto, and she told her ladies class that we needed to go and audition. Well, nobody ever asked Miss Dorothy why. We just showed up. And that was my first introduction to the beautiful Art Center. And I was excited. I was like, oh, I found my people now.
One of the things that I noticed when I first came on board was the need for sort of refreshing the image of the Arts and Science Center, as well as refreshing the outreach, the type of programming that we provided to the community, specifically through Southeast Arkansas. So that summer of 2017, we put together a comprehensive community survey that only included like 3 questions, and basically was like, what do you want to see more of? Do you feel like the Arts and Science Center is actually engaging you through the arts and sciences? And what is something that you would like to see in the future from this museum? And all of those responses turned into the Art Space on Main concept.
I think the ARTx3 campus helps foster a positive public perception of Pine Bluff First and foremost, when people come into the city in the downtown area, they see this beautifully renovated historic building. And you can't miss it with the red doors and the red windows. That right there helps the perception of Pine Bluff.
These buildings have a story to tell us. They're unlike anything else in the area because if you look, for instance, even at the micro details of the ARTspace building, in fact, the very building that we're in right now and the floors that we're on, this used to be a car dealership. The floors were kept just like they were. There are scuff marks. They didn't take any of those out. I look at those scuff marks often and I think about, I wonder what model car made that. I wonder what scuff did that. But it's a beautiful scuff. And it's a kind of, there's a kind of charm and a kind of beauty that comes with these buildings. Their architecture tell us something about themselves. Their stories are unique and they're wine-like in that they've become more important and they become better and they savor more of our heritage over time. Each one tells us something different about our community's character.
So it took us a while to find a funder that was willing to invest in this project, and they continue to invest. And because of that outside investment, it attracted other people that wanted to put money toward this project.
Reusing and rehabilitating historic buildings can improve the quality of life in a community by several ways. I think that the first and foremost, it eliminates urban sprawl. So you are able to reuse existing spaces without taking up new lots. It also beautifies an area with the aesthetics of an exterior of the building and the ARTspace on Main and ARTworks is a prime example of that. It also helps keep our community heritage and telling the stories of our area. And the downtown area in Pine Bluff has seen some renovation of historic buildings. Generally, they're built better, the commercial buildings are. And when you rehabilitate a historic building, especially in a downtown area, because downtown areas are experiencing a revival right now with entertainment and tourist attractions. So it just brings more people to the area and you see that economic boom.
We encourage each other every time we come together by saying we are an important community and we are rich in culture and heritage. Every time we fill up these buildings, there's a statement to be made. And ARTx3 campus is the conduit for which that's done.
I think the evolution of ASC's ARTx3 campus is fabulous. The programming they have been able to expand with just the art space and the artworks is amazing. But almost more than that, I really love the physical connection they have made between their facilities on the campus with their public art installations, the murals and the street art. Art is a catalyst for community engagement, and to see people stop and just enjoy the art that ASC has provided within this campus is really heartwarming. And it's wonderful for our visitors. Our goal is to bring in more visitors to the city, but it really is endearing to see our residents enjoy the art as much as they do.
The ARTx3 campus supports community artists by giving us a place to learn artistic skills and most importantly to be able to show and sell our artwork. There's a great need within our local community for a retail gallery space, and with the creation of the ARTspace on Main, local artists were given the opportunity to be able to show and sell your art.
Technology, science, art, they've always mingled together when it came to the type of outreach that the Arts and Science Center has presented to the community. And it continues with the ARTx3 campus. So, for example, the ARTspace on Main and our ARTworks on Main, we have these very high-end, high-tech theater where everything is operated by an iPad, which kind of blows me away when I think about it. And then next door at our Bellamy Theater, At our last potpourri, which is our major fundraiser that happens every other year, we raised almost $200,000 to upgrade our lighting and our sound to contemporary equipment. And after that upgrade is completed, we will offer lighting tech, the science behind lighting, the science behind sound and theater. It sort of, this goes into one of our outreach programs that's called the Stage Makerspace. And this particular program explores the science, the technology, the arts engineering behind the concept of theater. And it's for youth, and it's one of our other outreaches that we try to emphasize that the arts are a form of workforce development. We have 3 galleries in our main facility, what we refer to as the Arts and Science Center / museum. Those 3 galleries, they showcase community art as well as up-and-coming artists and established artists. And then over at the art space, we have our loft gallery, and that space is specifically reserved for community artists. It's rotating. A lot of times we also showcase students that are graduating from the UAPB Art and Design Department. It's their first time to actually have a public exhibition of their artwork that they have been working on their last 4 years, and to receive the recognition that they deserve for achieving that final portfolio that hopefully will launch them into being professional artists. One of the ways that we reflect the local culture as well as the region is through our permanent collection. Our collecting scope includes African American artists, Arkansas artists, and art from the Delta. And so any type of art that you will see either at the museum or at the art space on Main is reflecting those local artists as well as regional artists or artists from the nation that have some sort of connection to what we're doing here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. For example, one of the most well-known African American artists that came from UAPB is Kevin Cole. And so you'll see that we have art of Kevin Cole in our atrium. We also invite him back on multiple occasions to work with our community either through lectures or presentations, as well as working with students at UAPB and other students within our community. As the Arts Museum that engages so heavily with our community by emphasizing that we're a community museum without walls, we really want to make sure that when people come into our facilities that they see themselves reflected in the artists, see themselves reflected in the programming, as well as the messaging that we put out to promote awareness of the ARTx3 campus. Every time that a new person walks into either the museum or the art space on Main facility and comment about how they had no idea that this space was here and how much that it contributes to downtown Pine Bluff and how it promotes the positivity that everybody in the community is trying to convey to outside audiences, as well as folks that are even in their own community. When I hear those types of remarks, that is a fulfillment for me. I feel like that has actually fulfilled the mission of the ARTx3 campus, to serve as a positive beacon for our community, to serve as an example of what can happen when you actually invest in your community and have faith that your community can rise up above the types of perceptions that are being put out there. If we can contribute to that, then that is an amazing experience to have.
It's hard to get people in the door because these people consider theater a luxury. And I'm like, no, it's not. People have a limited number of dollars to use for their entertainment purposes. We just have to figure out a way to make sure that whatever theater, art you're doing, you're at the top of their list.
Everybody that comes in just seems to have this personal connection with them. They make you feel at home. And the experiences that both children, the youth and the adults get from any type of programming or shows or anything like that they get is a lifelong memory.